In this session, we're going to have a look at how to archive projects within DocHaven. Now you may well ask, why on earth should I archive projects in the first place? Well, it could be that you have so many projects on the system that you're running out of quota and you want to move some off. It could be that you've got projects up there for a particular client who's closed down and you just want to remove them off the system. It could be that the number of projects you've got on there has become unwieldy, so you just want to remove older ones you're not going to be using anymore. For whatever reason, it's possible to extract or archive projects out of the document management system and back them up onto some other medium for use in case you need them in future. Now, it doesn't fully remove the project from the cloud. It removes all of the copies of the documents, but it still keeps the record that you had a project with that number on the system should you ever want to unarchive later. So, how do we do it? Under the Manage menu, you can see this pop-out called Archive there. And further down, you can see you can unarchive an individual file if you want to just get one project back, or a whole folder if you want to get a whole folder of projects back, which there may have been multiple projects within the one archive. So, let's choose the Archive window here. And what you see is a window that looks essentially it's exactly the same as the export window. So what you may want to do here is choose a particular range of projects that you want to might want to archive. If we chose just the owner, there's all the ones for a particular owner. And we may want to, if we're running out of space, we can choose ones which are larger than a certain size. If the projects were, if we want to get rid of projects, just short-term projects we don't need anymore, we can quickly just turn that on and choose them. In my case, what I'm going to be doing is getting rid of just one particular project. So say, for example, here 2011 accounts are now out of date because we've now moved on to 2012. So let me put away the 2011 accounts, and when that's finished, I'm going to archive that, and then we can store it onto a CD, burn it onto a DVD, put it onto a memory stick, whatever it is you want to do with it, to have it available should you want to in future. Now that's project 1432. We need to keep that in mind.
Finish put away of 2011 accounts.
Excellent. So that's put the latest version up there on the cloud. So if we wanted to do a normal search, we'd find all of the ones. There you go, there's 1434. That's the one we want to get rid of. The trouble is that if we just say all the projects owned by this particular user, we're getting too much. So that's why we need to go in here and cut it down and see exactly what we want. So if we wanted project 1434, what we need to do is put it in there twice, so that's greater than or equal to 1434 and less than or equal to 1434, and that way when we go find it, it'll only have one coming up. Now it's possible to archive just one project. It's possible to archive dozens or hundreds of projects all in one archive procedure if you want. Okay, so let's come across here and now that we're ready, we'll choose Archive. Now the first thing it's going to do is ask us where on my local computer do I want to store these. So let me go Archive, and I'm just going to put them onto the desktop. You could put them onto a server, a CD, a DVD, anything that you want to. So let's go Archive. It's asking me where. I'll choose Desktop. That's fine. Go Choose. And now what it's going to, you can see what it's done is it's created a folder on my desktop with the next available archive number. In this case it's 27, and it's copying down all of those projects, or in this case it's only one project. And the other thing that it's going to do, if I forgot to show you in here, was that you're able to get it to archive just the latest version or all versions.
Finished archive latest version only of 0000001434.
Okay. if we had been archiving projects where we had multiple versions, particularly accounts might be a useful one for that, it's possible to archive all versions. So not just the version 1 or one version here, the latest version we've got, but it'd be possible to download and back up all of the versions that were on the server for that project. Now, the significance about what it's done now that that project has been archived, is there are no files on the cloud to do with that project. They've actually been deleted now. If I click on the transfers, you can see further down that it's gone and deleted those. All the versions of them. The other thing that it's done is it has meant that that project is no longer searchable. So if I click on Find here, even though I don't have that project out, 1434 is no longer available. If you go looking for a file and you're wondering where is it, it should be available to me, you can click down here on Limit and ask it to show the archived projects as well. So when I go, for example, here, and if I type in account, there you go, then it's not only including those accounts which are active and available, but including an account which has been archived. Now, if I try to take that out, 1434, it's going to come up and complain and say that that project is an archive project and so isn't available to be taken out. If you changed your mind later down the track and the client's business comes back together, you get a bit more quota, that sort of thing, it's possible to unarchive an individual project or a whole range of projects. So let me unarchive just that one project, and I would go to the desktop, click on that file and go open. Now I'm not going to do it, but essentially what it's going to do is it's going to uncompress that folder. It's going to look at the contents of it and compress it again as it sends it up as the latest version available on the server. The other thing it's going to do is mark that project as no longer being an archive project. Now if I come down here to the database and have a look at what information is being stored regarding that project, so that project 1334 is an archive project in archive number 27. So I'll just wait for the window to appear, and we can go off and do a search for project 1334. There it is, it's automatically appeared, and you can see that the information about the file is there. All the same information is there that was there before. The only exception is that in the contents area you can see that archive is now ticked. That means that this is an archived project. When we do an archive, it'll automatically uncheck that for us. The other thing here is it tells us what archive it was archived in. So if we ever did want to go look for it, and if we had dozens or hundreds of archives, we could come along here and see, yes, it's in number 27. So we don't it doesn't take us too long to find that particular project. So that's what's going to happen when we unarchive. You can unarchive a whole folder's worth at one time, or just an individual file. It's up to you. Okay, so that's archiving. I hope that proves useful for you, and that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.